Hello, everyone, and welcome to It's Your Water and the Quick Tips series. Today, we're going to do quick tips on catalytic carbon. It's not all the same. There's a couple different types that we want to just drill you through so you don't make any mistakes using and picking which catalytic carbon is good for me. Denise is here. Hi, Denise.
Hey, Mike.
Catalytic carbon gets treated like it's all the same. But like I said, there's two different types. And what is that? Coconut shell-based and coal-based.
Like every carbon.
Like every carbon, yeah. So, and if you ever had a catalytic system that didn't work or died an early death, less than 1 year, that's an early death.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And the customers probably get angry. We say, 2 to 5 years expected if you can get a little bit more.
Well, we don't have control over the raw water. So.
Right. But that's why we're here. This is why you're listening to Quick Tips, because we're trying to get you straight and not get the early death going.
Oh, God.
That's, we sell more carbon that way if you want to screw up, but we don't want you getting angry at us. So anyway, let's get into it. It's Quick Tips, right? Shut up, Mike. What are you trying to solve? First, number one, right? What are you looking to push catalytic carbon to remove? Mostly, we see it used for chloramine reduction in city water. Chloramine is actually chlorine and ammonia mixed together. It's amazing, isn't it? They pump it in your water, and they do that to reduce trihalomethane. I won't go into that, but it's there to reduce chlorinated byproducts. But it kind of makes your water smell burnt. I call it burnt water. It's it's awful.
Well,
so,
more and more municipalities are doing it.
Yeah. So
Big
you got to
time.
really look hard at catalytic carbon, because regular carbon doesn't perform well in chloramine.
Well, it will for about 6 months.
Yeah.
Or less.
It just,
If
And
you get the right lot.
exactly,
Yeah.
right? In the really good conditions and a really long empty bed contact time, use it twice as much carbon. But so it works well for that. And skipping over everything, hydrogen sulfide. That's what it was really used for. Now, little disclaimer, way long time ago, they said that catalytic carbon was good for iron removal. Don't do it. It's not good for iron removal. Just strike it from your brain. It's good for hydrogen sulfide because it's oxidation reduction. And here we'll go into the concept. It's catalytic. What's catalytic? It's a catalyst, right? A catalyst is something that promotes change, and change is a chemical reaction. So the chemical reaction that happens with catalytic carbon, it was enhanced to hold more oxygen than regular carbon. So its ability to hold this oxygen to act as the catalyst between what you're removing. Chloramine comes in, let's put it in plain terms. That's the way I do it. Blast. The chlorine is a surface reaction that happens with all carbon. But then you have this ammonia left over. So you need a little stronger punch to get rid of that ammonia. And basically that catalyst, the oxygen that's kind of kept in the carbon there, will act and reduce and oxidize your gas, which is sulfur, hydrogen sulfide, or your chloramine. So that's why you would upgrade to that. And that's really the bottom line of what makes catalytic carbon different than regular carbon. So just store that in your brain and store that it needs the oxygen. So a lot of times it needs the oxygen as fuel. So if you burn up the fuel, if you don't have enough oxygen naturally occurring or pumped into your water with ozone, peroxide, or air, you can't perpetuate the catalytic reaction. So you run out of fuel.
Well, let's just put this question to you.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't put it in the tank and let it run.
A lot of times you can't. For city water, you can, because it's a different reaction. You say, well, what if I put in oxygen to city water? Well, it has the chlorine. The chlorine actually kind of acts as your catalyst because there's two different reactions happening there. You have your surface reaction where the chlorine is reduced to chloride.
Mm-hmm.
And that's almost a perpetual reaction perpetual. So, but that reaction somehow, I know there's a carbon guru at Calgon going, what? Keep it straight, Mike. That the chlorine actually helps in the oxidation reduction. So you can actually feed chlorine in a hydrogen sulfide reaction, which will give some fuel.
Okay.
But I'm a big fan of new ozone. Ozone, it's clean, it's powerful, it's new, and they have ozone generators now that it's not your grandpop's ozone. I think we actually have an ozone podcast. Listen to that. So ozone and catalytic carbon, man, dynamite combination.
To get rid of hydrogen sulfide.
Hydrogen sulfide. And so dynamite. So that's really the chemistry behind it. One thing that I'm going to beat in everybody's brain is this acronym TOC, total organic carbon, which is the dead bodies in the water. It's basically your organic material, the algae that has been oxidized in the organic. It turns into green to death. So, and
not quite bugs.
Yeah, but well, the what do you call up in New York? They have those little oocysts, or not oocysts, the oopods. It's like little baby shrimps.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they have shrimps in their water.
Right. Yeah, they're fried.
And fried shrimp. No, yeah. Well, when you put chlorine to them, they're fried shrimp. So, but we kid. So the TOC is carbon loves it. And that really loads up the seats on the bus for any carbon application. Use it for any carbon application. Test for TOC. And if you get over 2 parts per million, 1 part per million, that's a lot. So what's a lot, Mike? 2 parts per million. You start using the seats on the bus and not enough room for that oxygen to catalyze and sit there and wait for that sulfur to come down the stream and you blast. So that's so important to perpetuate the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So fuel is the most important part here. So, okay, enough of the chemistry, and now you got a concept of what the heck catalytic carbon does and what it is. Okay, now we have 2 base materials out there, and the things have gotten a little more confusing here. People always, you go to the shelf and you want macaroni. Now there's 5 different types of macaroni. You're like, yeah. So coconut-based or coal-based, the original Centaur, the granddaddy in 1994 that I helped do the field trials and with Calgon. I put it on the map, folks. That little horseman. I said, you should have a horse guy on the bag. Anyway, now, listen. So the Centaur was coal-based, and coal-based, agglomerated coal. So it's a very, say, tailor-made.
Mm-hmm.
So they can actually make the batches consistent every time. They get the coal, they break it up, and they're going to put it together, and they can make it, the ingredients, one after the other consistent. So coal has a bigger pore structure. Even though they're both 12 by 40 mesh, it has macropores versus micropores, smaller, and coconut shell has a micropore. So for sulfur, the coal-based is better. Chloramine, I think the coconut shell is a better choice because it's stronger and it reacts with chlorine better because it has tougher bone structure. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So chlorine tends to rob carbon of a structural molecule as it's reducing. And so coal is a little bit weaker and it could break down. But for sulfur, there's no surface reaction, so it's more of an adsorptive effect in the reaction with the oxygen, like I said, and the fuel. And so you don't physically break it down, but pore structure also lends itself to being biologically fouled. And that's why I'm a big fan of ozone. These guys with AIO systems, air injected oxygen, or however they do it.
Yeah.
So they're sucking basement air.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Sucking air.
We did the podcast like that.
Yeah, look at it. We did a podcast. I mean, look at cooling towers and Legionella. But anyway, I'm good with peroxide, which is liquid oxygen. 7%, 70,000 parts per million. That's a lot. Well, here's the little fact that water holds saturation is 8% oxygen. Anything over 8% in water just goes out. So that's the 2 substrates and why the choices I say, in my experience, chloramine, coconut, sulfur, centaur, coal-based. Now, there's a lot of brands of coconut out there because when the patent ran out, everybody rushed to the door, but nobody could make a coal because it's a very high-tech process that Calgon makes the coal. And it's not direct activated, blah, blah, blah.
It's not to say this is a commercial for Calgon.
No,
because we
but
can name the other guys.
Yeah, the other guys, now, like your coconut shell guys are like, Jacoby CXMCA, very
popular.
Good product.
Everybody loves that bag.
Yeah, they love the bag. And we sell the Hey Carb WAC 1000, but it's all functionalized to hold oxygen more than regular carbon. That's bottom line. It's got that holding. So,
there you have it.
There you have it, really. I mean, we have just water's ability to hold oxygen, warm water, Florida. Oxygen tends to gas out quicker in warmer water. So people in Florida, you may have to use a little bit more, a little bit more peroxide, a little bit more ozone because it won't carry as far. It may not linger as far. So that's important. Pay attention to the engineering. If you're not in the engineering, pay attention to empty bed contact times. On our website, we got plenty for sulfur. So that's design engineer. Chloramine is a longer reaction. So I say use about twice as much carbon as you would for chlorine reduction. Chlorine reduction is very simple for carbon. It's like lightning fast.
Whatever you can find.
But to break down that ammonia, that bond, that chain, takes a little bit of time. So if you only put a little bit in there, you're going to be in trouble. So that's real important. So really, that's about it. One teaser is the Amerisorb Catalytic coming out. It's a catalytic carbon. It's more budget priced, but it's coal-based.
Right.
It is coal-based. And I don't know, Centaur Light.
That's what you keep wanting to
I want to call it, I want to call it Americat. That's going to be our brand. Or Amerifrog. Frog Cat. There you go.
Well, we're going to get more experience with it, and we're going to talk to Calgon more about it.
Yeah. So in closing, AI said the right carbon in the wrong system will fail. And the wrong carbon in the right system will still disappoint.
Are you implying that this came from AI?
No. This came from Mike
Your brain.
Mike most of it. But all right. Trust the frog, everybody. Thanks for listening.
This podcast was edited by Resonate Recordings.